Before buying the franchise, I did quite a bit of research.
Do your research?
Do your research?
Yes, research. It's a popular tip, but where do you even start? Fortunately, I know someone who can help. Professor Lorelle Frazer is the director of the Franchising School at Griffith University and agrees with, well, everyone else.
Doing due diligence is basically doing your homework, so it's doing research about the franchise before you make a decision. It's very important because you're investing a lot of money into it, and there is some risk. Even though it's a franchise, it can still be risky.
So the university have developed a 6-step checklist to help potential franchisees navigate through early stages and prepare for the road ahead.
Well, the first step in doing your due diligence is to make sure you understand franchising. And if you don't know how franchising works, then you'll need to educate yourself. So the next step is to assess your own suitability for franchising. You've got to make sure you've got the right personality for entering that franchise. So, for instance, will you be comfortable with following the system and taking directions from the franchise head office? Once you've got through those hurdles, the third step is to do some research on the industry and the franchise. So you can do your own market research on industry trends and see what the prospects are for that franchise. And then you can do some research on the franchise itself. Under the Franchising Code of Conduct, the franchisor will supply you with a copy of the disclosure document, which explains everything about the franchise, a copy of the franchise agreement, and a copy of the franchising code itself for you to look over at least 14 days before you sign the agreement or pay any money.
Lorelle advises choosing legal and financial advisors with specific franchising and small business expertise.
And our final tip, and one of the most important, is to make sure that you speak to as many franchisees of the brand as possible.
I got a bit of advice from my accountant and solicitors and got them to look through the whole structure. We also sat with the franchisor and we went through some cash flow forecasts and some business planning as well. So I knew all the costs and exactly what I was getting into.
Well, Lorelle, we've talked about a lot today, so how long should this whole process take?
That will depend on the level of complexity of the franchise and the level of investment. So if you're entering a fairly complex business that's quite expensive, then you'll need to spend more time on your due diligence. It could take weeks or even months. This is probably the biggest decision they're going to make in their lives, and certainly in terms of investment. So they need to be very careful and take their time.
To find out more, visit franchise.edu.au.
Being part of a franchise, you get that support mechanism. You've got to take the information they give you, work with that information and be prepared to be part of a franchise.
Do your research, have a good look at yourself and your own ability to take on such a job with the pressures that are renowned to come with them.
Surround yourself with the right team and they'll pull you out of some of the darker times as well.